Hello everybody, hope you're having a good day. It's a beautiful sunshiny day out there. Um, Anyways, I just wanted to make a short video because I feel like it's good to be open about things in life that are difficult and things that are in life that are hard. And those of you who know me and know me well enough know that I am no stranger to dealing with a couple medical issues, but the one that I talk about probably the least is my struggles with depression and severe anxiety. And it has been a struggle in the past few years to stay on a stable space. It is so hard not to feel guilty, not to feel shameful about mental illness, even though I would never feel those things towards anyone else who suffers from mental illness. And I think that's just the perfectionist in me coming out and saying, you should be able to do these things, you should be better than this, you should be able to just think through it. But that's not the case. It's just not, okay? And I do feel really bad about how my mental illness affects others around me, my family specifically, my son, my husband, who has to take on a huge share of workload when I am not well. But there is hope in the sense that now that I have found a medication combination that is working somewhat, I am able to see clearly, think more rationally, actually do things properly, and just not be so caught up in my head and just I can't describe it in any way other than just absolute sheer panic 24/7. And I just wanted to make a video and be open about it because it's important. It's important to talk about these things that are hard to talk about. It wouldn't be a thing, that people would maybe criticize or things like that if it was a physical illness. I don't have people judge what I'm doing for my arthritis. And I don't have people judge how I deal with that. But it's not the same. It's not the same for mental illness. And it's just something that people cannot understand. My arthritis is an invisible illness, and I will have people that don't understand that I am young and that I have this. But that's something I can get over. I can speak to them. I can show them x-rays. I can show them things and be like, look, this is something that I am truly going through. Here's proof. This is not me making this up. Whereas with mental health, there's no MRI. There is no sense in, here's some evidence. Other than if you know me and you know me well enough and my history, and you see me become a different person, and you see that it strips the life out of me, and it makes me a completely different person when I have an episode, then that's evidence. But then, how do you turn around and deal with that with me? How do you support me through it? And I know that it's very hard for people to understand how to support someone with a mental illness, because you can't understand unless you're there what it feels like, But I can tell you, these people generally want to get better. Nobody wants to feel the way they feel. Nobody wants to just stay in agony every day. It's not like they don't want to get better. It is that it is monumentally hard to change behavior, to believe that change is possible, that hope is possible, and that, there's something else out there for them if it's been a lifelong situation. It's just something that just takes more understanding, okay? It's hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes when, You don't even know what kind of shoes they are. You don't know what size they are. You don't know how they fit. It's just, all I'm asking is compassion for people with mental illness, and for a little bit of just leeway, and just knowing that it is possible to feel something completely just like you can't get over it, you're stuck, and that simple things are the hardest things to do. And while, tough love and a good kick in the butt might seem like a good answer, at times, no, you need support, you need understanding, and you need people to rally around you and say, and congratulate you on the smallest, tiniest changes and efforts that you're making, because those small changes and efforts will become the bigger changes, and they will get you to where you need to be. You also have to work with your doctor, with your team, and believe them. Believe what they're saying. And unfortunately, a lot of these medications take time. They take time to ride out, build up in your system, everything like that. And there is no direct science. There's no way for them to know exactly which medications work for which person, for how long they will work, everything like that. It's frustrating to no end. Luckily, they are coming out now with genetic testing for certain medications to see how your liver metabolizes them. And that's encouraging. That means to me that they are looking for ways to help people with mental illness be in a better place quicker. And that's what we're hopefully getting towards. Recently in my last, just trying to figure out what works for me, I did try transcranial magnetic stimulation. And that is basically when they put a metal coil on the top of your head. They target a specific part of your brain called the left prefrontal cortex, because that is where they're theorizing that some depressions lie and can be found. So the theory is that if they provide this magnetic pulse to the side of your head, to the specific location in your brain, it will create neurogenesis, the development of new neurons, because people with depression are seen to have low activity within the brain. So these new neurons will help deliver messages between cells quicker, and hopefully they will lift a lot of the symptoms of depression. It is not a cure-all, and I didn't have success with it, and I fully believe it's because of my anxiety, which just negated anything that the magnetic stimulation was able to do. And I believe for someone with just depression that could be a helpful treatment for them. It is still in the clinical trials, and my experience with it was actually part of the clinical trial, so I was happy to be a part of that, and be a part of another study that's coming up that they're going to be doing, where they do an imaging study on your brain with contrast called functional MRI, to see how your brain works and to see where depression and anxiety might lie in your brain. And hopefully these things will move forward and help create a better situation for people in the future, even myself, whoever. Exactly. This is not something you would wish on anybody, so if you can help anyone get through this, that's important. And that's why I think it's important to talk about mental illness, to talk about your struggles, to know that you're not alone, to know that there are things, no matter how many things you've tried, there are things that will work for you. There are new things coming out all the time. There are things you can do, and there are ways to support a person with mental illness that are helpful. Okay, so those are the last things that I would like to get across. Thank you for watching. And yes, that is everything. Have a good day.